Assalamualaikum and hello. Let's continue with the last video for this chapter where we are going to learn about unsaturation test of alkenes. Another name for this one is a chemical test. Chemical test is a very famous question where you have to memorize 4 things in order to get the full mark for this kind of question. The first one is name of the test. The second one is reagents and condition. The third one is chemical equation. And the last one is observation. Make sure you got all these 4 in your answer for chemical tests. Chemical tests can be used to differentiate between 2 different compounds. So the first chemical test that you are going to learn is Bayer's test. So Bayer's test, please be careful with the name because this one is coming from a person. That's why you got apostrophe S. And we can use Bayer's test to differentiate between alkene and alkene. The reagents for Bayer's test is dilute alkaline KMnO4, or you can write it down as KMnO4, NaOH or OH minus. The condition will be cold or room temperature. So now what will happen, we can use alkene and alkene. So I'm going to show you which one will show the positive result and which one will show you the negative result. For the Bayer's test, the positive result will be for alkene. So this is positive result. And for alkene, it will show negative result. So alkene can undergo Bayer's test where you got here ethene reacts with KMnO4, arrow on the top is OH minus or NaOH. Under the arrow will be the condition cold, and what will happen, alkene will form diol where you will break this double bond and add up 2 single bonds attached to OH, each of them. And you got one more side product. This is very special, plus MnO2. And you have to show direction of the arrow towards down. So what does it mean here? This reaction will form precipitate, and that precipitate is MnO2. And we can also use another form. Either you want to show by using this arrow, or you can write it down as solid phase. So whichever you prefer with. And this is your diol. And what will happen once you write down the equation, you need to put the observation for positive result, our alkene. There will be 2 observations. Purple color of KMnO4 solution turn colorless and brown precipitate of MnO2 form. When you write down the purple color turn colorless, make sure you put solution because this is referring to the color of the solution. So only 2 observations for Bayer's test for alkene, our positive result. Let's go to the negative result, alkene. Alkene will not form any reaction. However, you still have to put the chemical equation for them because there will be mark for that. So alkene that I use here is ethane. Ethane will react with KMnO4 and produce OH minus at the top of arrow and cold for your condition. Only this term can be put in the negative result for chemical equation. The term is no observable changes. You cannot use another term apart from this. Please choose the correct term as I use here. So this term will illustrate that alkene will not form diol in the chemical equation. And for the observation, masih lagi ada, which is purple solution of KMnO4 remain. So there is no changes into colorless. And brown precipitate will not be formed, or you can write it down as no brown precipitate form. So that's for Bayer's test. Let's go to the next chemical test, which is bromine test. We can also use bromine test to differentiate between alkane and alkene. The reagents for bromine test is bromine in dichloromethane, or you can write it down in chemical formula, Br2 in CH2Cl2. And the condition must be dark. This is very important, dark. Because if you put in room temperature or in the normal surrounding, you cannot classify that as bromine test. So now let's get to alkene. So alkene will show positive result for bromine test, while alkane will show negative result for bromine test. So in this positive result for alkene, I use ethene reacts with plus Br2, produce, you put the solvent on the top of arrow and the condition dark. This is very important. Put dark here. And what will happen, you will break this double bond of alkene and adding two single bonds, which each of them attached to two Br atoms. So this is what we call as dibromoalkane. And next, the observation for bromine test is reddish brown color of bromine solution turn to colorless. I hope all of you already knew that the color of bromine solution is reddish brown. So once you got the positive result, the reddish brown solution will turn to colorless. And for the negative result for alkane, you got here ethane plus Br2, put the chemical equation with the correct reagent and condition as before, but for the negative result, you have to put the term no observable changes because you cannot see any changes during this reaction. And what happened to the observation? Observation for the reddish brown solution remain. So there will be no changes for the observation of alkane when it undergoes bromine test. So I hope all of you are clear between Bayer's test and bromine test. Please remember, in order to get the full mark for chemical test, you have to include these 4 points in your answer. So that's all from me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.